Hello and welcome to randomly reviewing Bitblaster XL, the non-stop bullet hell astronaut game developed and published by Nicavision or Nicavision maybe Studios the 22nd of January 2016 on Steam, but it has been published on mobile devices the 3rd of January 2016. This is the first publication on PC by Nicavision, but it is far from the first publication from Nicavision on mobile devices. The game mainly consists of you being a spaceship going around shooting asteroids, collecting ammunition and killing other spaceships. You do this by controlling the ship left or right. The ship is constantly moving and is constantly shooting, so you have to keep track of your constantly decreasing ammunition and you need to go pick more up. If you run out of ammunition, you simply stop shooting. Now, if we go ahead and look at the options menu, we will see that this is very clearly a mobile port. These options are absolutely abysmal and not acceptable at all. You have these sound disable and enable. It is separate, but we would like to have seen sliders and at least some resolution options. It isn't very great, but we can go ahead to the gameplay, which is far better than the completely abysmal options menu. And even though the gameplay is clearly meant for mobile devices, I have played this on both mobile devices and on the PC, and I actually enjoy the PC experience far more than the mobile version. This is very rare. I have never experienced a port being more enjoyable on what it's ported to than its native environment. Now, I will get back to why this is later, but the thing I have noticed is that the ships you have all have very large turning circles, and while this is kind of frustrating at times, it does actually improve the game slightly because it gives in some more challenges. Now, challenges is not equal to a better game, but it does limit the amount of time you can play in one session, which is kinda nice. I can imagine if you were to play one session of 50 minutes of this game, it would be kind of frustrating. Now, while you play, we have a slow introduction to new enemies. Now, I have not seen a lot of these enemies because I am miserable at this game. Absolutely miserable. Now, this can both be a good thing and a bad thing, because while it introduces new mechanics and new stuff to the game, if you are actually good at this game, you might find yourself playing through some boring, simple parts of the game through and through again and again, so that you can get to the actual challenging levels, which I can imagine might be a bit frustrating. Now, back to the PC versus mobile version of this game, and there are mainly two things which makes the PC version better than the mobile version. First, there's the controls, which is a lot more pleasant to use on the PC, but more importantly, that's the screen size of the game, because the amount of asteroids and enemy spawning seems to be about the same, but the screen size is so much bigger, and it actually changes the gameplay a lot, because on the mobile version, you can just quickly turn around and get some more ammunition, and therefore you never actually run out of ammunition on the mobile version, while on the PC version, you constantly need to be aware of the ammunition you use, because you can't just go to the other side of the map for more ammunition, because the amount of ammunition your ship will just shoot while you're going to get more ammunition might actually be more ammunition than you pick up. Now, this actually changes the game to not only be the arcade which it is on the mobile version, but also some sort of a resource management game, which is actually a very interesting combination. Now, from my experience, the game works perfectly fine with keyboard, and it also works perfectly fine with controller. Some have claimed that on the PC, especially the controller, there is a lot of delay between hitting a button and actual movement on the screen. Now, very quickly after this was posted, the game developer claimed to have fixed the problem. Now, props to the game developer for acting so quickly, that was very impressive. And secondly, I have not experienced any of these problems. Was these problems there in the first place? I don't know. I got the game after the developer apparently fixed the game. Now, I have experienced a different bug. I don't know whether this is the game's fault or my fault with recording software and a lot of other stuff, but sometimes the game freezes for around half to 1 second and then starts again. It's kind of annoying. It's not a big deal, but it is kind of annoying. Now, if we go ahead and look at the soundtrack, it's good. It's absolutely good, and it's very matching to the game, but there is only one piece of soundtrack to the game, and if you're going to play this for a longer period of time, it might get repetitive, though I kinda doubt it, because you aren't going to play this game for very long at a time. What are my conclusions and thereby my recommendations for this game? Well, you've seen the game, and if you like what you see, I will suggest that you go out and buy it, because it costs only €1, and I think this is a fairly good game for that price. And that has been randomly reviewing Bitblaster XL. If you'd like, you can press subscribe for more, just to keep it at that, it's fine.